Hey up troops, welcome back to the Litanah Army. I'm Lit and this is Fortnite Save the World, and what I want to do today is review the love event. The love event's been great so far. I think it's got more positives than negatives, but I want to kind of touch on those and just have a quick look. Do you know what have been the best bits, the highlights if you like, and the low points of this event. Now it's quite an important event because it's the first seasonal event, if you like, post update, so that's quite a big deal if you like, so that's going to make it stand out. Now before we get started, what I do want to ask you is, what's been your favorite event since playing the game? So you might have come in at the birthday event, the blockbuster event, wherever you came into the game, but what's been your favorite event so far? I know the Horde Bash event the first time around was really popular, the blockbuster event seems to have been popular, but what's been your favorite event and why? Let me know in the comments down below because I would absolutely love to know. But back to the love event then. So the main things for me that stand out in this one is there's no like token weapon in this one. Now before we had like the Heartbreaker, we've recently just had the Spectral Blade, and we've got all sorts. We've got the Rat Rod weapons from other events, and I kind of like them kind of memento weapons that you can take away from the game. I've not really seen any sort of standout weapon for this event, or nothing that's really caught my attention that makes me want to take this to remember it. The weapon doesn't even have to be good, you know, so even if the weapon's not a great weapon, I still usually really enjoy it just because, you know, it just reminds me of that event. It's something I can go back to and something I can think, oh, I remember when we did that, and it's just something that I like to have. I know that's not for everyone, that's quite niche to myself maybe, but I know I've spoke to some of you guys before, and I know some of you, I'm sure some of you guys feel the same. Now the next thing for me is as well, I'm starting with the negatives here, you know, so it's not all negative. I sound like I'm bashing the event, and I'm really not. I've loved the event so far, but the missions weren't very creative. It was, you know, a lot more find this, fetch that, and it was very much similar. Collect these. It was just, I kind of wanted something a little bit more. Now there was a little bit of creativity in there, but it was nothing that was overly exciting. It was, I wanted to do something different, if that makes sense. Even if one of the missions was something crazy like, I don't know, build up to a certain height and jump off as like a lover's leap kind of thing. I don't know, that may be a terrible idea, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to, what I actually want is just to actually do something that's a little bit different. You know, there's a lot of things that you could do. You could even do lover's leap onto a bounce pad, maybe that could have been a thing. I don't know, but you know, let me know your ideas down below what you think. But we need some sort of creativity, I think, in missions rather than just fetch this, fetch that, get the tokens, etc. And the last bad point, if you like, this is it. I've done bashing after this, but the last bad point for me was I wanted a really decent cutscene. Now that introduction that we got when the game first opened up, when the event first started, was so amazing. I loved that. That was such a good event, and it was, you know, when you saw like the Jonesy just turn around and he kind of looked into the camera, I thought this is going to be awesome. I was so hyped. And that was it. I mean, that's all we got. I mean, there was no more to it. Now, I don't need, you know, I don't even need the huge cutscenes like you get in Battle Royale. That's not something that I need. But it would have been nice just occasionally to have something like that. Cutscenes are actually really powerful in the game. If you remember, those of you that are old enough, and I'm showing my age now, but the first time that Final Fantasy VII came out, I remember that game kind of drove me on because it was the cutscenes in between. I was working for the cutscenes. I was because the cutscenes were so good back then, and I mean, they're not back now. If you go back to the game, and have a look at it, they don't look anywhere near as good as what they did back then. But we didn't have anything like that back then. But what was great is, you know, when I was playing the game, even if the missions were tedious, like trying to raise a chocobo or whatever it was that you had to do in that mission that took days, literally days as well, you know, it was all worth it because that cutscene was coming and I really wanted to see it. And I would have been someone who would have stayed away kind of from social media so I didn't see the cutscenes, just so I could get to them. And they could have been like super short. I mean, they only had to be a few seconds long for each one, and I think I would have took that. But that leads on nicely to the first of the good points that I've got on here, so which is the story and voice acting. I think we can all agree, or I hope we can all agree, I thought that the story was so immersive and so funny and so well written. I don't know who writes this, who writes the actual content for this, but whoever it is, you know, needs a standing ovation. That was absolute genius. I thought the writing was great. I really felt for the first time in a long time that I was part of home base, like home base, like I was part of home base, and it was just, you know, I really felt absorbed into the story, and I want more of that. I want to get more involved in the characters. I want to hear Kyle, you know, being a bit silly. I want to hear, you know, like Southie and all the others. I just thought it was really, really good the way that they actually put it together, and I just think that for me that's the best bit of writing I think that we've seen in Fortnite Save the World since the start. When you do that opening cutscene, for those of you that can remember, you know, because it was that long ago, especially was for me, but if you remember the opening cutscene when you first played Fortnite Save the World, that was so good. When you know, you're the commander and you're rushing in and Ray's trying to help you, you know, out of the storm, and it's so good. That's the kind that's the first time that I felt like that since then, and I just thought that the writing was just absolutely top draw. I mean, to show that they've got that kind of ability there at Epic Games, you know, use that more. Whoever that person is, whoever that, you know, man, woman, whoever it is, you know, use that person a lot more. I would use that person in every single event. The next good thing as well, I like, although it's a little bit of a counter to what I said initially, I think the rewards for the heroes on the hero side of things were absolutely great. We got 2 great looking legendary heroes. I've not really tried them out yet, so it would be unfair for me to say that they're good heroes. I've seen reviews on them and stuff like that, and other people have played them, but I've not actually played them myself yet, so it would be unfair for me to say that they're great heroes, but they're certainly great looking heroes, and ones that I love to have there in my armory, you know, just to say that I've got those, and they look great. So if I have got one memento from the event, it is 2 absolutely fantastic heroes. Would have been great to have a weapon coupled up with them, maybe a weapon that they specialize in that I could have used, but you know, ultimately still absolutely great. I can't take away that those models look absolutely fantastic, and you know what, it feels more personal. You know, those heroes look really great, and it just feels like we got something really personal to us in the game, and I love that. And as I said before, this is the first event, the first seasonal post-update event, and I think this is an excellent show by Epic. I think Epic have come out of the gates really well there, and if this is the start of things to come, and future events are going to be like this, and I know some people loved the Frost Night event and some people didn't. I was kind of on the fence with it. I thought the actual event in Frost Night was actually really good. I didn't end up getting the banner because I was away from the game, as you guys know, for a big chunk of that, but I think ultimately the fact that the events are getting stronger now, I think that there's a lot of positives coming from this. It's a slow push forward, but I think the game's driving forward, and there's so many positives to take from this, and I hope you guys are taking that as well. You know, there's a lot of frustration being in this game, and we've all had to endure quite a lot recently, you know, with the game becoming stale, reskins, you know, bugs, especially you Xbox players. I do feel for you guys, and you know, there's a lot out there that could be, you know, that could be done better. But you know what, I think this game, I still love the game. The game as a whole is fantastic. The game, Fortnite Save the World, there's nothing out there that I would rather put on. You know, this is my go-to game still, and it's a game that I absolutely love, and I just think that these things from the Love event, this has really spurred me on. As I said, if you've noticed, yesterday I put out 3 videos, today I'm hoping to put out 3, but if I can put out 2 to 3 videos in a day, it means that there's a lot to cover, and I'm not feeling like there's a lack of content anymore, which is absolutely great. But let me know what you think, guys, of the Love event. I've really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the next events. I know Demon Joe was saying about the pirate event that's potentially coming up in the files and stuff like that, but you know what, for me right now, this game's definitely going in the right direction, and if you're not someone who plays Save the World right now, make sure you go out and get it, because it's definitely worth it. But guys, that's all I've got for you today. Massive thanks for watching. If you're not part of the Litanah Army already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you are one of the troops, make sure you drop me a like, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching today, guys.